Good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to tonight's second Hook play-in race. I am Baka Shinobi, and I am joined by a girl named Captain. How are you doing this evening, Captain?
I'm doing great, Baka. How about yourself?
I am excited. We have 4 of the 23 runners involved in this race. We're going to go and be having 2 more streams going, one on RPG Limit Break and one on Random Mania, each with another 4 runners. So we'll have a total of 12 of our runners restreamed. We are not going to be able to restream all of the runners because, again, we have 23 runners in this race. So we'll be going and keeping an eye out. And if we get a first place finisher offline, we will go and announce that. That said, because there are other restreams, we will just simply ask that you not go and spoil the actions of other races in chat for people who are just focusing on this race. We understand some people may be watching all of them, but for the viewing experience here, please keep your comments just to the race in front of you. And with that said, this is a race to have in front of us.
Yeah, let's take a look at these objectives here. We've got the normal forge, of course, and then we have the Wyvern spot, the vanilla Wyvern spot, and we have Fabul Castle and the boss of the waterfall. So 2 of these objectives available right off the bat on the overworld.
And the second objective is completable with the Darkness Crystal, which, by a massive coincidence, is also a way to Threemus, so we could have a 1 objective go mode. Captain, how much do you want our runners to start with the Darkness Crystal?
Part of me wants that to happen just because early go mode can send you into such a frenzy as far as getting ready to actually go and fight Threemus, and you can see some really wildly differing strategies as far as do I go with Eddie strats? How much do I level? Do I go in there at low level? So it can be interesting.
I agree. I would love to go and see our runners get just a very instantaneous go mode and just be told, all right, you have go mode. Find a way to kill Threemus from here.
Particularly since we have so many racers and only the winner of this race moves on. Everyone is facing elimination except for the winner. So I think we're going to see some people making some big plays here.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty desperate seed, all things considered, just because, as you said, only one of the 23 people in this race will advance to table. Everyone is playing for that spot. Everyone is going to be gunning for it. If you don't start with Darkness, where do you go first, hoping to go and find it?
I guess I would probably approach Fabul would certainly be high on the list, but also I'm definitely trying to find what my good party is for this seed. And if I can find the strong characters off the bat, then maybe that'll make further decisions down the line a lot simpler. So I'd probably go and check Hobbs, go to Mysidia, and just look for some nice gear and characters and see if I can get some direction that way.
What happens if you find an Edge or 2 and a Tella? Do you make your first check or deals?
I think with the possibility of, say, a Threemus up on Ordeals, it is 3 boss spots. And the possibility of that Threemus having a Darkness, I think whoever gets to this Darkness Crystal is going to be at a big advantage.
Oh yeah, this is absolutely a race to the Darkness Crystal.
Yeah, so I might go up that Ordeals. It's hard to say what I would do in the panic of the moment,
Oh, I agree. But it looks like we are getting started. So let's see who our second character is and what our starting item is. Rosa Kane is certainly a power couple, and Bahamut is giving us the Darkness Crystal. Yes!
We got it.
I'm sorry, I'm a little excited. I've had so many seeds like this, and I get to see someone else suffer through them for once.
Oh, this is going to be a crazy race, folks. Buckle up.
This is going to be great. We are now in go mode. We now have access to every objective we need to clear. We need to clear the waterfall boss, defend Fabul, and the Crystal Sword altar.
Yep, here's your stuff. Go win the seed.
And let's see what we find. I. Who are you hoping to see for characters here?
I think I am definitely hoping for. Oh gosh, it's hard to say. I mean, Rose O'Kane is fantastic. Um, an edge would be great if you also happen to find some good gear for him. He can be brought up to pretty good power levels pretty quickly. I don't know how I feel about Atella.
I feel that you need Tella. I feel that you really need Tella because you want a D machine grind. You want to go, you want to find. I think your top choice is the D machine grind. Your next choice is to check the moon shop for sirens. If you don't have either of those options, maybe you look at a Mac Giant grind, but you really need like an edge with a super strong weapon, maybe.
Yeah, and a Mac Giant grind is a little more specialized in terms of like how many people are really familiar with executing it versus a D machine grind. So it's a little tougher. And there's an Eddie in Mysidia, so that's interesting.
And a Palom in City as well. Eddie would turn on the uh, um, Edward strats, but you still need to defeat that Crystal Sword Altar. We've seen Bahamut, which is one rather free boss. If it's one of the other free bosses, it's doable. If it's something like Antlion, Eddie's not getting through that on his own. He's going to need support.
Yeah, very true. Although there's a possibility of Eddie being able to kind of cheese some pretty tough bosses in that spot. Even Evil Wall, I think Eddie could maybe get through on his own.
That's not an incorrect guess, just because Evil Wall, that spot has a lot of attack power. If you are able to go into that fight with your party dead and hide Edward instantly, you could get Evil Wall to punch himself, because fun fact, when Evil Wall advances, he has to punch. But Harumph is finding an edge in Watery Pass. That is one of the characters you like to see. Oh, I just thought of something very spicy. Do you go to the Giant and go find the last arm chest and try and steal sirens off that?
Yeah, without underground access, it's definitely a way. I don't know. Yeah, if there's no Tella, that might be the play for sure.
Or you do a Mac Giant setup, but you don't fight the alert. You get Stomp on your Palom, and you go and steal sirens from that, and when you're ready to end the fight, you stop the alert and kill it so you can't summon Mac Giants. That could be another avenue.
Yeah, there are definitely some big plays you could make. There's a Yang in Damsian. I'm not sure how people are going to feel about that.
This is definitely going to be a tricky setup, because Yang is a monk. He does not go and get a lot of attack power early on. He gets it from his levels. Get him up to level 40 or 50, he's going to be pretty strong. Level 10, he's going to struggle to do triple digit damage.
And it looks like Harumph has gone straight into the waterfall here, figuring that he's got enough power to take out whatever boss is there. And that's likely true. It's just pale dim, and I think Edge is probably going to be able to win this one on his own.
Yep, Edge is going to go and be able to do a lot of good work here. Palom's not going to be able to do much, but he's going to get experience going and hitting for 7 points of damage. Yeah, this is something where I would consider just passing everyone's turn who's not named Edge, just because 525 damage, this spot only has a few thousand HP. That's going to go and be what you need. 36 damage is not really material damage in this fight.
Now, Baka, given the characters that we've seen so far, what do you think your anchoring setup is in a situation like this?
Well, Eddie is looking to be a prime target because you kind of want to go and have levels before you go to that Crystal Sword Altar, so not going to go and have really a lot of good options. Rosa and Kane can be fine, but you really, really want to go and be able to get some weapons for them, and if you don't find them soon, maybe you don't use them. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Sneeze came up as I was talking. But maybe you don't use them, but maybe just try and lean hard on that Palom with Nuke.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. The thing about Eddie is you'll have to really be pretty careful to not allow him to gain much experience because his agility increases so fast. We could always find a curse ring. I have not seen one so far.
And Huron choosing not to go and take, yeah, was going to go considering Young and then choosing not to take him, probably because their Eddie did get conveniently knocked off in their Hailden fight and hasn't gained any experience so far. But right now, I believe the only free character we have not seen is on Ordeals, and the only other characters available to us are in Baron Inn, Mount Hobbs, and the Moon.
And I did see that Baron Inn character was a Cane guarded by a Valvalis.
That could be slow, but if you go and get something to throw with Edge, you can take out that first fight quickly. Ooh, and I do see in Jay Brun's inventory a cursed ring, so this could be very helpful for Jay Brun. That he did go into the Antlion Cave, so perhaps that's where that cursed ring is.
Yeah, I must have missed where that cursed ring pickup was. But that's definitely really nice to give you some flexibility in that anchoring situation.
And another nice thing to see, the Maga Sisters. This is not going to be the worst fight at the Crystal Sword altar, but the Cindy's punches could be really mean there, so not terrible to see it here.
Yeah, you've got that edge. His flame spell will go through the wall, and so it shouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah, and we see a Kainazo at Antlion, so another fight you're probably happy to see in a spot that's not the Crystal Sword altar, because that can go and get pretty rude at high HP spots.
Quite a few rude bosses getting taken off the table here, but we've definitely got some possibilities left for that Crystal Sword altar.
Yeah, we do have Valvalis on, but there's always a Vanilla Wyvern or a Vanilla Golbez, though they would be a bit tempered because of the very weak magic power of that spot. Alternatively, something like an Ogopogo would be absolutely brutal there.
And there's our underground access, should you want it. There's a Magma Key in Antlion, as well as a Twin Harp in Fabul.
Well now, Jay Brun has a lot of options. He does not need to go in and do any of the weird things I suggested for going in to getting sirens. He can go to the usually safe spot of Lower Babel, pop one of those trap chests and steal sirens to his heart's content, and that will go and get him pretty far on sirens.
Yep, it's looking more and more likely, like if you are satisfied with your party, no Ordeals visit would even be required.
Yeah, that's ooh, this is dicey. I mean, I would probably check Ordeals anyways just to go and see who you can go and pick up, just because maybe you can go and fix your team, adjust your team a bit more. But if you are Jay Brun, yeah, I might as well just go underground, take that Magma Key, and grab a whole bunch of sirens. I think the big issue here is going to be who you want for your final team and how high do you want to grind them up. You might be able to go and find better weapons for melee fighters, but that's going to take time.
Very true, and that Ordeals character is not exactly a powerhouse. It's a Palom. You know, we love her, but we've already got a Rosa, so perhaps we want another white mage. I think Trump did just want another white mage, so yeah.
And they get rid of Kane as well, so might not be thinking of doing melee strats, might be thinking of doing reflect strats, though their Edge or their Edward does have levels which would make them a poor anchor. So I am curious where this is going to be going.
Yeah, we haven't gotten the Hobbs character yet. As far as I know, no one has gone up there.
That sounds right to me.
So we could be thinking of grabbing a fresh character off of Hobbs when you're ready to go to the Z fight. Depending on who it is, that may or may not work out in your favor.
Yeah, I expect our runners are going to be trying to go and finish off their like, they are not going to want to go and do anything after killing between going from the Crystal Sword altar to Zeromus.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be one trip to the moon and then head straight down there. Assuming there's not a pass. Well, even if you have a pass, you still don't use it in that case, I think.
Maybe you exit out. Would be faster to go and potentially exit out, I think. That's a bit of math, but I think it is faster to exit out and go back there because you can safely walk from the Crystal Sword altar to the final save point. Even if you bypass going in there, it's still a fair amount of time. I think the cutscene is the moon, or the big whale cutscene is less time than it takes to walk all the way through there. And Euphoric Lemon finds a second Rosa on Mount Hobbs, facing off a form of Mylon.
Yeah, we certainly have a lot of white mages available to us in this seed.
And is getting rid of their young. And it's a Mylon Z, so weak to air, weak to spears, weak to bows, weak to fire as well.
Yeah, poor Mylon Z is weak to an awful lot of stuff.
Turns out when you go and fiddle with the game slightly to make sure that he can't be hit with Quake, the only way in the game is to make them a flying enemy, which is weak to bows, arrows, spears, throwing weapons. Well, boomerang specifically, not the thrown item command. But that's Mylon Z down. All of our runners are going through and looking for something. Harump is going clearing ordeals. Jbrun is going through, has completed Fabul. And now the big question is, where do you go from here? There is a fair amount of pressure on them to just go, 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 because they have everything they need. They have access to all the bosses in the game that they need to defeat.
Yeah, I think that going and stealing those sirens from using that magma key would be pretty high on my list. But yeah, how much shopping do you do around here? How much stuff do you need to buy to get ready? That's something that's just really going to be different from runner to runner.
Yeah, they are going to be in for... This is the horrible position of these jet seats and why we were so excited, because you get stuck in a very awful position of I need to go, I need to go, I need to go, but you also need to temper that with I need to be ready to go. I need to go and pick up everything I need first, which is really difficult in these because you can go and sometimes you can go and cut things down a fair bit. Do I need to loot more? Do I need to go and find money? Do I need to check shops? Because if I go underground, maybe shops can just sell sirens and I can just buy them. That's going to be a lot faster than going and stealing them with Edge.
Yep, very good point. Yeah, this is a situation where every decision carries a lot of extra weight just because of all of the tension that comes with one of these jet seeds.
Oh yes, these jet seeds really love to go and emphasize the line between knowing how much you need and how much you want. And it is easy to go and get over there. So do you need to go and loot more? Well, I could go and bypass looting more by getting extra sirens and just grinding more on mages. Well, can you afford it? Maybe. How many sirens do I need? That is a very important question to ask yourself. Depends on what you're grinding on. If you're grinding on eggs, you're going to go and you want to get nuke, you're going to need about 30 sirens? A bit less than that in order to go and get nuke on Palom.
Ooh, that is interesting. We found Bacchus wines for sale as well as silk webs in Tamra. So if you're looking to go for Berserker strats here, that's the premium item there, those Bacchus wines.
That is a good piece of information to have. The other big thing that Jbrun is going to need, though, is do they get any weapons for their Berserkers? Because they're going to need them. Also, Jbrun going and checking the job drawer even in the most dire of circumstances.
Gotta respect that.
Meanwhile, Arden Castro is having a bit of trouble at Fabul because he did not go and check the watery pass to discover there's an edge waiting there for him.
Yeah, this fight is going to be much more of a struggle. What was that item up on Ordeals? Did you happen to see?
I did not catch that. It looks like it was
like
the
the spoon. Yeah.
the spoon flag is on. Edward can equip that.
Oh, and there's sirens for sale in Dwarf Castle, so you don't even need to go steal them.
Japron hitting Antlion to go and find that is going to be very beneficial. He is going to be selling everything to go and start getting stuff, get sirens, it seems. He's got a lot of incentive to do so.
At this point, money is a big concern. It's so early in the seed, and there's been so little opportunity for loot that with Bacchus wines and sirens to buy, you're going to need to come up with some extra cash.
Yep, this is definitely the time to go and, in my opinion, do some more looting. You're in Dwarf Castle. This has higher tier loot, just about the same tier as Watery Pass. Go through, open these boxes, and see what you can get.
And it looks like Harumph has thrown that spoon on that bard, unleashed the spoony bard.
Sees the cane and the Valvals there, walks away, walks back, and says, all right, fine, we'll do this.
My spoon versus your tornado. Let's see who wins.
Edward knows he can dish it out. Can Valvalis take it? Well, apparently, because he can't go and hit Valvalis. Valvalis gains a number of multipliers, evade multipliers, where if you do not have enough strength, you will just simply dodge all of your hits. That is something that makes her quite unpleasant sometimes. There are abilities that will go and bypass that, but also she has perfect magic defense in this location, so that's one of the things that's going to cause some problems. One of the abilities that can bypass that is the Dart command, along with the Aim command. Both of those do not go and check against defense scores or anything. They are just do a thing. Aim is maximum accuracy, unless using the middle slot, which it overflows to not maximum accuracy. And Throw is just Edge's level times.
Hey, that works. If all else fails, just throw it at him.
Yep. Throw is a very helpful command.
I did happen to see as Jay Brunter looted Dwarf Castle, did find a ninja sword, so that's a pretty good pickup if he's looking to keep that edge.
It looks like he sold that in order to afford sirens.
Oh, I didn't catch that part. That also makes sense.
Ninja swords cost 66,000 gold per, so they do sell for a hefty amount. It is a pretty substantial upgrade for your characters, though. Meanwhile, your Four Clemens is finding something interesting. He's finding drain spears in a shop. That is a very nice weapon to go and get, because it's awful to use, but it's got extraordinarily high attack power.
Yep, those drains are edge ammunition.
But we're seeing our runners just scrambling, trying to go and figure out, where do we go from here? What do I do? How do I go and get a team ready to kill Zeromus? And it's a really harsh thing to go and try and get together.
Yeah, this is really looking like a scramble right now. Yeah, this is great to watch.
And Euphoric Lemon is going to start their grind, it seems. Has a few sirens, it seems. Is saving. I absolutely respect this choice because, yeah, you can get killed. Oh, he might have just only found one and is only doing one egg right now. I don't know if he's gone to Dwarf Castle to see that there are sirens for sale there.
I'm not sure if he did either. I'm also not sure if he has a great way to take out this yellow dragon.
This could get really hairy because Thunder is a really bad skill. When it counterattacks, it goes and hits with Thunder, which does a lot of damage to your entire team.
I believe it's 20% or maybe even 25%.
Looks like that. It certainly looks like it's something very unpleasant. It looks like 25%, to be honest, because it did 210 to Edge, and he's pretty close to, that punch took him out.
Ooh, Edge goes down.
Yeah, something you can do to make these egg fights a little bit easier. It looks like Palom is over level 15. Wait until you get to Palom's turn and cast Stop on the egg. That will go and let you just beat it down without letting it hatch, or you can throw Drain Spears at it, which, as Penguinator showed off in the Hook 1 race, Drain Spears are fantastic throw fodder.
Yes, I believe Pigrenator bought about 30 something drain spears. It was wonderful to see.
He really drained his funds to go and afford that.
Oh, Baka.
But Euphoric Lemon has gone and done their single egg, and that is enough to go and get Quake on Palom.
And her rump is going to be heading underground in a second here. We will see where he goes afterward.
And Aaron Castro checking the character on Ordeal, seeing its Porum, resetting to the bottom, not going up there, is not going to get the spoon from there, is not going to go get all of access to all of Tele spells, is not going to turn Cecil into Paladin, but I believe there's only one free character spot we have not seen, and that is on the moon, so I can see not checking that. And Euphoric Lemon is going into Lower Babel.
Yeah, probably looking for those sirens to steal. Not aware that they're in Dwarf Castle, although not sure that he would have the money to buy them anyway. Sparse looks like it's hitting this tower pretty hard, having a hard time finding a trap chest.
Yeah, that's something really annoying. With Sparse 60, only 60% of the chests are filled with items. And while you are guaranteed to have all 4 trap chest encounters, they might go and be some of the out-of-the-way chests or way up there.
Yep, still nothing. We're on floor 4, I think.
We're halfway up to the tower. Euphoric Lemon did go and skip a couple chests by in the 3rd floor. There's a bit of a whirlpool room where there are 2 ways up. One leads to progress, the other way leads to a couple treasure chests.
Yep, checking this lone treasure chest all the way up here. Just some money. Still no monsters. Where are these monsters at?
Apparently Euphoric Lemon has absolutely walked past at least 3 of them, because there's only one more chest at the top of the tower. And it is right down here.
I'm not sure if Euphoric checked the 1st floor, actually, but it looks like he found some now.
Yeah, found them. Alright, here is something ironic. If Euphoric Lemon took Porum, he would be able to increase the chance of his steal, because, thanks to accident, Cry doesn't go and do things it's supposed to. It does something entirely different, and what it does is increase the chance of Edge's steals.
Yep, Edge and Porum, the most unlikely duo. But they work well together due to that steal chance increase.
Yeah, apparently 2 characters who, in the vanilla game, are literally never together, ever, interact and synergize.
That's just 90s Super Nintendo games for ya.
And Aaron Castro has found that Edge, who is just sitting there waiting to be picked up at the Watery Pass. Might be feeling a bit behind because they now realize that they had a fair amount of power left on the table functionally, but does find Ether 2s in the shop and 10. If there's a Tella on the moon, Aaron Castro can go and pivot this into a D-Machine grind and be in good position.
Yeah, those Ether 2s are extremely useful for speeding up a D-Machine grind.
Oh yes, you want to go and kill a lot of D-Machines with Tella, and he kind of needs a bit of extra MP augmentation. At his base MP, he can only cast 3 weeks per full mana bar. Oh, full mana, because he only has 90 and week cost 25. So, cast week 3 times, Ether Tutela, cast week 3 times, Ether Tutela. To get Palom to nuke from base level with no experience multipliers, it will take 24 D-Machine kills, which, with life glitches, would mean 12 D-Machine summons. Not a cheap thing to do.
Yeah, it's gonna go and take a little bit of time. Looks like Jay Brunter's heading up to the moon. Maybe he's looking to scope out that character up there. Or the shop, where it looks like we're checking the Hummingway shop now.
I'm curious what Jay Brunter thinks. Well, I don't believe we've seen Cure 3, so that would be a thing to keep an eye out for. But we do know where...
Speaking of Cure 3s...
Asking these shall receive, apparently. That's probably the last big item we really look for, because we found silk webs, we found Bacchus wines, we found sirens, and cure threes. They round out a lot of the big tools you can really find in shops.
Those are the big ones. Maybe coffins, maybe hourglasses, but again, you're looking at a lot of money at that point, and you probably don't have enough time to even make that much money in this kind of race.
You're really going to be struggling to get that, and Harump is finding the sirens in Dwarf Castle, is going to go on a selling spree, and it's going to be making a lot of choices, and Tella is on the moon!
Oh,
The
hello,
machine
Tella.
are on the table.
Yep, that is a big find for Jay Brunter.
Tella has been accessible since the beginning of the game, and here's a question. Do you want...
And
No!
he's roundly rejected.
Oh, is Jay Brunter going down?
It looks like he's thinking about it.
Another thing to think about, ninja swords are for sale in Dwarf Castle. Not something you're going to be able to afford, I think.
It's going to be a big ask with all the other things we need to buy. Looks like Jay Brunter is going down. Maybe he's looking to luck into a free boss at that crystal altar.
Maybe they're going to go and scout out the crystal altar. Maybe they're going to go and do a grind in the moon.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's got the tools to do it at this moment.
I did see in Harump's inventory that Harump has 10 mute bells. That is a big tool that you can go and have for doing grinds, because they cast mute on all enemies. If you go to B4 of the Lunar Subterrane, coincidentally the floor that Jay Brunter is on now, you can use a siren to go and summon 3 warlocks, who, when they are not the only enemy left around, will simply cast spells. Makes them very safe to go and grind on that way.
That is definitely one of those alternative grinds that can be very useful in some situations. Perhaps this one. And Jay Brunter has thrown that curse ring onto Eddie, so that kind of gives you an idea what he's thinking.
Yeah, it looks like he's setting up to go and have a relative agility 1 set up, going in just lowering his anchor's agility to the absolute minimum he can, and then is going to go and get some levels, or at least trying to get some level. Okay, yeah, there's 23 mute bells. That is a lot of mute bells. That's more than enough to go and get you through this. It's just the biggest question is going to be, how quickly can you kill them? Because it looks like the best anti-mage weapon Jay Brunter has is mute arrows and a short bow.
Not the most impressive arsenal for sure.
But did get the mute bell off, so it's safe in this fight.
I'm not sure. I'm sorry, I completely forgot what I was about to say. Oh, it looks like Palom is going to be throwing out some bluffs. So maybe he's looking to finish it with a strong spell from Palom?
Maybe. Each time you use bluff, it does go and temporarily increase Palom's magic stat by 16, which does stack, so you can go and just keep stacking it up until you hit the natural cap of 99.
Well, I remember what I was going to say. I was going to ask if you know off the top of your head how much HP these warlocks have.
A bit over 4,000 HP per, I believe.
Gotcha. So it's going to be a little slow here, doing about, 300 to 600 damage.
Yeah, that's going to be a little tricky, and there is the risk of running out of mute arrows, because Jay Brunter only had the 7.
Very true. That 7 might get you through this fight, but it's probably not going to get you much further than that.
And doing 500 pop, it's probably going to get you through this warlock.
Looks like Harump is starting up some eggs down here meanwhile. And must have found an assassin dagger, because got a swoon onto that egg there from Edge.
And it looks like they capped the ninja sword, because 1,000 damage is definitely a lot more than you're expecting from Edge at this point. And I like this play because Swoon is a status that if you have your ATB set up well, you can go and pretty reliably get that Swoon proc on Edge. Or on
It looks
Egg.
like it's happening reliably as well. It's 2 times in a row now, so
Answer a question from chat. Where was the spoon? It was on Ordeals. Jay Brunter has not gone and done Ordeals. Meanwhile, Aaron Castro did go and venture up to the moon, found that Tella, and is going and doing some shopping on Earth, it seems.
So did Aaron Castro take that Tella? I missed that bit.
I did not see that myself. I think we'll get a good check. He did take
Looks like
Tella.
he did.
He has 3 melee fighters as well, so...
So we've got 2 eggs, 1 warlock, and maybe a D machine in a minute here. We've certainly got a diversity of grinds happening.
All the different options. As Euphoric Lemon is showing off that Helm with Quake, good at scrambling eggs as well. Really knows how to shake things up. But Jay Brunter is pushing through the best they can, but is going to throw in the Silent Staff. That is probably going to do some decent damage to the Warlocks. Well, it's doing half as much as the Mute Arrows and the Bow, but it's still doing damage. And Euphoric Lemon is getting a hatch, which is not what you want to see.
Definitely not. Although here comes the Quake. Should be okay now.
Yep. But Harumph, they're getting swoon after swoon after swoon.
This is a very efficient grind down on Harum's side. That Assassin Dagger's really been huge.
Yeah, I think I'm really falling for Harum's grind, to be honest. Meanwhile, Aaron Castro is going and searching around. Aaron Castro is most likely looking for Ethers or Ether 2s because Aaron Castro wants to D-machine grind from what I can see.
And this Warlock has actually started throwing out punches up on Jay Brunter's side and looks to be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, that's one of the unique things in this game is that enemies go and get different scripts when they come down to the last enemy. Warlocks are one of them. Warlocks will not go and do anything but cast spells until they are alone. When they're alone, they start throwing punches. Other enemies who do this, oddly enough, red dragons. They don't go and use their atomic ray attack until they go and get alone. And once they're alone, they really start beaming you.
Oh, this is looking pretty bad for Jay Brunter. Yep,
Yeah.
It's over.
Ooh,
That one really hurts to see.
Yeah, that's Jay Brunter is going and backing off, which I respect absolutely because this is not going to go, and you have to go and change the strategy. You just try that. You're not going to get through that grind fight. You need something different.
Yeah, does still have that Tella in his back pocket. Maybe gonna take a real fast trip down. Is the rescue flag on in this flag set? Right, I got it mixed up with the tables.
Yes, in group flags, you have a lot of characters and you can change your party about, but once you get rid of someone, they're gone for good.
So no Tella for Jay Brunter.
Yes. So Jay Brunter is going to be going and looking for different options. If he finds a mutant knife, that would go and dramatically increase his ability to do damage because that would let Edge do significantly more damage. But they are... Actually, wait, they got rid of their Edge. Or did they never pick Edge up?
Are you talking about Jay Brunter?
Yes.
I don't... I think that they didn't pick Edge up in the first place.
Okay, that would make a lot of sense. That would make a lot of sense. And Jay Brunter is equipping both these Charm Claws. There's one significant downside to Charm Claws over any other claw. Every other claw gives plus 30 accuracy. Charm Claws do not, so you're going and working off of bare punch accuracy, which is really, really bad.
Yeah, those Charm Claws can kind of cut your damage in pretty severe ways. Meanwhile, Harumpus continue to line these ATBs up to get these swoon procs over and over, and his party is looking very strong at this point.
It's got He's almost got 2000 HP on Rosa. He's got Kane and Edge. He has a spoon for his Edward, so yeah, Harumph is looking pretty close to being Zeromus ready.
I do have to wonder what his plan for the agility situation is. His Edward certainly has too many levels to be a suitable anchor at this point. Maybe looking for 28 agility on one character?
Maybe. Maybe they probably have the curse ring that I believe was in Antlion, so not unreasonable to go. And ooh, does not go and get a swoon proc off though, and the dragon has hatched.
Oh no. Let's hope that doesn't get punished for this one.
It is getting a thunder counter that is killing a lot of people.
It's gonna be up to Edge to bring this one home, I think.
And they do, but only 2 people gain experience in that fight.
Well, better than wiping and losing your whole grind.
Yep. Meanwhile, we see Aaron Castro finish out the back attack fight at Ordeals. The Mom Bomb goes down again. So they will go and find the spoon for the Edward that they got rid of.
Womp womp.
But they will also find that their Tela now has all of their spells, including Weak.
Yep, so that will be D-Machine enabled for Aaron Castro. I have a feeling we might be about to see a trip to the Giant in short order here.
Yep, though that might not be enough for Aaron Castro just because Harumph appears to be nearing the end of their grind. Unless they're going to be taking Palom all the way up to Nuke, they are going to be... Harumph is going to seem to be in pretty good shape to go straight to the moon.
Very true. Worth mentioning, I don't know... Well, Harumph has a ninja sword and an assassin dagger, I believe. We'll have enough money to buy another ninja sword at Dwarf Castle. I'm not sure what Kane has for gear.
Yeah, I don't know what Kane has either. I don't think Kane has much. But Jay Brunter did go and finish off Paladin, did go and get that... choosing not to spend their money on weapons, but instead choosing to spend on Bacchus wine, it's definitely something I agree with, because you really want to be able to make sure that you can get your characters berserked up very quickly.
Yeah, if that Rosa's going to be pulling white mage duty, you really want all of your melee fighters zerked up and swinging as much as possible. Don't want to have to go and take turns to cast Berserk with Rosa.
Yeah, that is something that is... That's a good way to get killed on the Zeromus fight, when you have your white mage too burdened with tasks to try and go and heal up your team, zerk up your fighters, and try and stay alive themselves. That can get absolutely disastrous.
Yeah, it is a lot to juggle, especially when you're working with kind of weaker Berserk fighters, so it's not even that useful to just use the fight command.
Yeah, and we see Harumph is going to the moon. Harumph has whatever levels they feel is sufficient and appears to be ready to go into this lunar subterranean. And I don't believe they've been here, so they're going to go and discover that Tela is here. They are checking their agility. Edge does have 45 agility. That is actually not an awful number for an anchor, because 42 is the next breakpoint for Zeromus.
Yeah, that might actually work. That Edge might get a couple more levels from that Crystal Sword Altar fight, but it still might be suitable enough to make it work.
Yeah, and Jay Brunter did see the Edge in there, but chooses not to take them. Speaking of choosing, Harumph sees Tela. Do they choose to take them? They do, and they get rid of Kane.
Wow, getting rid of Kane. Interesting.
You asked what weapon Kane had? He had his vanilla spear.
Ah, well, that makes a bit more sense in that context then.
Yeah, that spear at when Kane is level 40 will let Kane do a whopping 400 damage. Maybe.
That is the big money damage right there.
Yeah, Harumph going and not choosing to go and grind, or not choosing to go and loot more in the hopes of finding something for Kane, just says, all right, I have good enough stuff for Edward, or for Edge. I have a spoon word. I can get Nuke on Palom. I can go and make this work with what I have. Let's get rid of Kane, who maybe we go and feel real sad if we see an Avenger here on this Crystal Sword altar. But in most cases, we're probably not going to feel real sad about saying goodbye to Kane.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the correct play overall. Is doing this Baron infight real quickly. Not sure exactly what he's looking for here.
Maybe Jay Brunter is just trying to figure out. They might be feeling a bit overwhelmed or just floundering a bit because they had that grind fail for them, so they're trying to go and get back into this. They go and break Val's spin, and Kane goes down, which is unfortunate, but Hallam is queued up to go and have a Fire 2 coming out. That should be enough to take out Valvalis. But meanwhile, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're about to see who is at this Crystal Sword altar. So who is the only boss standing between these racers and Threemus?
And it is going to be an amazing boss to find out. And Harumph is going in for the range of their team, going in, getting their casters up into safer position, or putting Hallam in the front row, not really concerned with Hallam's safety, instead wants to go and keep Edward in the back row because Edward has a spoon. Spoon sets Edward's attack power to the maximum of 255. Edward's probably going to do some good damage. Oh my goodness, we find Dark Imps.
Oh my lord. Yep, that is a pretty free boss. They are going to hit pretty hard, as we can see. Just did about 2,000 damage to Rosa there.
Yeah, that's actually really mean because they do not have the boss bit, but because there's 3 of them, you're going to go and get beat up real good by these Dark Imps.
Yeah, unless you can throw out a... saw him mousing over a silk web there. Don't think we found hourglasses. Wow, and these Dark Imps are really throwing these punches.
Yeah, but Tella lands the stone. Edge and Rosa survive. They get the experience from here. Harumph has gone... Ooh, Tella got experience. That might not be what Harumph needs if Harumph didn't want to go and anchor with Tella.
Probably not ideal.
Slight downgrade over the vanilla item here, but we find a crystal and a holy sword. Not the crystal holy sword.
The X-Gal is even a bit of an upgrade in this situation because you can at least throw it.
Very true. So now the question for Harumph, do you go and try and get Nuke on Hallam, or do you go with the team you have? You got a level 50 Edward or Edge, you have a level 50 Rosa. That's enough to get you through the Threemus fight. It might not be fast, but you'll probably get through it.
Yeah, I think it's probably worth it to just go for it. You know, if you're confident that you can execute it. You've got those Bacchus wines, which is a big help. Yeah, if did Harumph check for Cure 3s in that Hummingway shop?
I don't think so, but with Rosa, you can just skip that, to be entirely honest. Rosa and Edge should be able to go and solo this. Yeah, level 48 Rosa. She's going to be able to go and do a lot.
Yeah, I think it's going to be okay to just go for it. I was going to say Cure 3s would be handy in case you want to turn that Palom into a chemist since he doesn't have Nuke. But yeah, probably won't be necessary to actually win the fight.
Yeah, that Palom is 4 levels off from Nuke, so that's going to go and be a little tricky for... If Harumph goes for it, he's going to go and need to find the grind fight up here, maybe go and take out the ribbon spot fight. All this is going to take time, but they have gone and saved, and they are walking down to Threemus. They're not healing up. It looks like they're getting ready to go and fight the final boss because they have a crystal. They have a way to Threemus. They want to go and take this first place spot in hopes of becoming the only advancer to the tables. Let's see if Harumph is able to pull through.
And Baka, we've got a few Z flags coming out in chat. Care to mention what that's all about?
Well, because Threemus is the final boss of the game, it's a randomizer, but we don't randomize him, right? I guess he's a bit too strong, a bit too complicated. and just a bit too mean to let out into the normal pool. So instead, we like to do something else with Zeromus. After all, as I said, it's a randomizer. We can't keep everything the same about this fight. So with your Z flags out in chat, let's ask, Captain, will you do the honors?
I certainly will, Baka. Whose butt are we gonna kick tonight?
Indeed, we have 450 lovingly rendered butts by both Skellakitty and Boardface. Let's see who we're getting tonight.
Whoever's butt this is, it's gonna get kicked 23 times.
It is going to go and have a very, very unpleasant evening, I'm expecting.
Meanwhile, Aaron Castro has found that D-Machine grind, or at least hopes it's that D-Machine grind. We haven't actually summoned a D-Machine yet. And Euphoric Lemon looks to have finished his grind.
It looks to be going into Castle Eblin Fighting Trap Chest. Might just be looking for some, maybe some gear. Ooh, getting flustered by the Black Cat. If they still have that... Ooh. I am distracted because we have... I believe this is one of the Emperors from Final Fantasy II, unless I'm mistaken? Scala, can you go and tell us where this is from?
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine on this one. Although it's very cool.
It is definitely a very cool sprite.
Looks like Bad Karma says FF2 on Game Boy Advance.
Ah, that would make sense. Because this does not look like an NES sprite. Game Boy Advance sprite, I can believe. Post-game extra dungeon. That makes sense. But Harumph has gone and zerked up their fighters and has nerfed their Big Bang and is going to go and throw it some healing.
Yeah, we got that Spoony Bard back there. It was hitting for about 2,300, 2,400. You know, it's not the most damage in the world, but I think it'll do good enough in this circumstance.
All he has to do is focus and survive, though. Does have the wall on edge. That might end up being a bit of a mistake just because you really need edge to survive the fights unless you want to go and finish off on reflex strats, which Rosa does have white. You could try that, but it is going to be very tricky. Because as we said, Harumph doesn't have the Cure 3s. Harumph really can't go and heal Edge at this point up to safe Big Bang HP levels.
Yeah, it's going to be on some pretty thin margins here in this fight. But then again, that's what we have been talking about. This is a whole race of extremely thin margins.
Very true. Looks like both Hallam and Edge have walls up, so maybe it was a missed menu from Harumph where they meant to go and pop a Bacchus wine, but instead went and hit a Star Veil.
Oh, very possible.
Here come, looks like we're going to go and see a Big Bang shortly, unless we just tipped. I'm thinking we tipped because I saw a lot of shakes and not a lot of Big Bangs.
This is a pretty long delay if there's still a Big Bang coming out, so I'm thinking the same thing.
Yep, there's another shake. So, to explain to those who are unfamiliar, Zeromus, as I've mentioned, is a rather complicated boss in the form that he has over 100,000 HP. Except enemies in this game can't have actually 100,000 HP. It's just not one of the things this poor SNES can handle. They have around 61,000 HP maximum. So after you do 45,000 damage to Zeromus, Zeromus will refill their HP to maximum as a counterattack. One of the things you can do in this game to bypass counterattacks is cast spells reflected off a wall. If you do that, you don't trigger any counterattacks. It's a great way to dodge counter nukes. It's also a great way to go and dodge counter refills, and oh, that went poorly.
Oh, that is not great news. I think Harumph attempted to nerf that Big Bang, and it definitely did not work.
Definitely did not. that yeah, this is phase 2, and Harumph unfortunately takes a wipe.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. Yeah, I understand the urge to nerf those big bangs. It really helps you survive if you get it off there, but it's a big risk. Every time you do it after that first one is really difficult.
Yeah, it's, as I've mentioned about Zoroark being complicated, he does a pretty simple loop, it looks like. He goes, he shakes, he casts a big bang, he casts black hole, he shakes again, he casts more big bangs. But what he's actually doing is before each and every big bang, Zoroark is changing their magic power. That's because when you do things like trigger a counterattack, Zoroark drastically lowers their magic power so they don't, well, absolutely destroy you when they go and cast that nuke. It's a pretty powerful spell. If you have a high magic power, it's really going to go and just absolutely wipe any of your characters off the face of the earth if Zoroark has more than, say, single digit magic power. But for Big Bang, that's a much different spell, so it can go and work at a very different magic power. And if you trick Zoroark into casting a Big Bang with the magic power that they have for a nuke, the Big Bang will max out at maybe 1200 damage, 1200 damage. Pretty big swing from the maximum of 2400 to 2700 you can get for Big Bangs, because Zoroark doesn't always change the same magic value. But you have to go and trick Zoroark into resetting their magic power after they take their invisible turn to set magic power, but before they take their turn to go and cast Big Bang. It is an extremely narrow window.
Yeah, as well as if you're going to nerf, you've also got to be okay with one of your characters eating that counter nuke from whatever you use to nerf, which can be pretty bad. If your strategy really hinges on one character staying alive, that counter nuke can still go and take out that character, and then it wasn't necessarily worth it to nerf in the first place.
Yeah, you can mitigate that with, say, keeping a wall on that character, but then you've got the issue of, well, now you can't heal that character with Gear 4, you have to heal them with potions. So it can really cascade into an awful situation if you're trying to do such a small party like Harumph is.
Yeah, it's a tough judgment call of whether to nerf or not. Always a really interesting decision.
It is, when you get the timing down, you can go and experience players can go and do it reliably, but it is a very specific timing that kind of relies on having a specific setup.
And looks like Harumph is back into the second fight. Eddie went down to that first counter nuke, but he's back up and swinging now. Euphoric Lemon is heading down into the lunar subterrane, and Aaron Castro, I gotta imagine, is probably pretty close to wrapping up this D-Machine grind.
I imagine they are. They've been grinding for a bit, and Euphoric Lemon has, I expect, some very high levels on their team. They're going to be able to deal with those Darkens very well, I expect. And Harumph is going and is in the storm site, is going and getting it their all. They have, I mean, looks like you can go and just accept that, yeah, Pound's probably going to die to the next Big Bang, but you can go and gear up the team and keep going.
Yep, also does not have a Star Veil on Edge this time around, so much easier to heal him up in between Big Bangs.
Definitely, yeah, that's definitely going to go and improve things. It is, last fight was just a really unfortunate high roll on Rosa. That is something where Big Bangs can max out either 2400 or 2700, and that's something that can really go and throw you off.
Yeah, it might also partially be a result of how fast this seed was, how jetty it was. I'm not sure what gear we found for Rosa. I know that someone found a sorcerer robe somewhere, but it may have gotten sold to Fort Sirens or something like that.
Yeah, there has not been a lot of good stuff found. I think there's maybe a silent staff on Rosa, Otherwise, Rosa's in her base equipment. That is definitely not what you want to go and have.
Yeah, her magic defense with her basic equipment is going to mean that she's going to be taking a lot of damage from those big bangs.
Yeah, and that counter nuke, that is, as you were saying, if your fight is really reliant on having someone survive, in this case,
That's an ouch.
yeah, this is bad because Edge is berserk and is going to be the only person to survive this.
Oh boy. Okay, looks like Eddie pulled through just barely. He might actually die to the HP ran out though.
Ooh, and in the meantime, Jay Brunter did go and forfeit. We have had a first place finisher. Dathis finished in first place with a time of 49 minutes and 31 seconds. So Dathis is going to be the only player from this group to advance. But everyone here is playing for Pride, which I can't blame them. This is a hard seed. Harumph is in media phase. Rocks are falling. Gotta go and pull something through here. Edge needs to dodge.
Gonna toss that X-Cal. Oh, looks like it's not a dodge.
And Harumph unfortunately takes another wipe.
Ouch, that one's gotta hurt. So close.
That stings a lot. For those who aren't aware, when Threemus is down to 12,000 HP, he changed scripts again to do nothing but cast Meteor. He cast it at a very low magic power. It's not impossible to dodge, but it can be really hard. And depending on how you have your agility set, or how you have your characters equipped and whatnot, Edge, I think, only has one magic evade multiplier because that Assassin Knife, while giving +5 to Strength, Vitality, and Agility, gives -10 to both Wisdom and Willpower. Your magic evade is you get one chance to roll on magic evade for every 32 agility you have, and for every combined 32 wisdom plus willpower. So he's got +5 on agility, -20 on the second.
Baka always with the technical know-how. I actually did not know that about magic evade.
I've gone and paid a lot of close attention to that. In the meantime, we see that Euphoric Lemon has gone and killed the Dark Imps. No Tella in their team whatsoever. And it's going to go and get their crystal now too.
Yep, we've got Double Rosa as a Kane, an Edge, and a Palom? Or does Lemon have Eddie?
He has Edge, Kane, Double Rosa, and Palom. No Eddie in sight.
So, no Spoony Bard there. I wonder what Euphoric Lemon's approach to the Z fight is going to be with that double White Mage situation.
They may be going for a reflect heal because I don't know if they have good weapons for their melee fighters.
Yeah, it's just I don't think anyone found anything that good for Kane, certainly. So Edge is going to be the only Berserker that could really dish out much damage there. So Reflect seems like it might be the way to go to me as well.
Yeah, that's my inclination on these seeds, where you don't have the time to go and loot, to go and find really good weapons for your characters. Level 50, yeah, he went to exactly level 52, which is the level that Palom learns Nuke, and is now checking agility, is going to be going. And another thing that you go and want to check is you can go and finesse agility with the characters by changing your equipment. As I was mentioning, with that Assassin Knife can go and increase your agility by 5. That might be important if you want to go and take yourself just over a breakpoint where Threemus goes from very high agility, or from one relative agility to another. But that's could be something different. I'm curious as to how Euphoric Lemon is going to be setting up their party while Harumph is going in for another shot. They've gotten to the end. They just need Rosa to live.
Not to be deterred, just gotta get over that finish line. Looks like Euphoric Lemon did throw a curse ring on one of his Rosas.
That is... well, That's going to go and put you into some pretty low agility. First ring is -15 to all stats. When you go and take a character down that low, I think Rosa has 23 agility at that level, bringing her down to 8. Not the worst, but honestly,
Yeah.
if you're going to go reflex strats, maybe it would have been worthwhile to take that Tella.
Yeah, the only problem with the Rosa curse ring is that if you're going to use reflect, it's really going to cut her magic damage by a lot. Since curse ring gives -15 to all of your stats, casters tend to suffer from it a lot.
Agreed. Harump is going and throwing out all the magic damage they can, going and reflecting whites, reflecting threes, just going and getting their Edward back up. I think they're going to go and try and heal them up, and maybe I don't know if you even bother trying to heal up Edward at this point. You just simply go and accept Big Bang's going to kill him and zerk him up as much as you can.
Yep, it's going to be pretty close here. Edward's definitely going to die, as well as Palom here as well. So it's just going to be the Edge and Rosa show in a second.
Edge and Rosa's usually all you need. It's just Rosa taking a number of very unfortunate high roll Big Bangs.
Yeah, you really need these damage numbers to work out in your favor. And she got through that one.
Yep, surviving, getting through, looking to be in good shape.
Yeah, we're probably pretty close to Meteor Phase again at this point.
Just need to go and push through that last bit. Meanwhile, Euphoric Lemon is getting to their fight now. And Edward is getting back up and is reviving Palom.
Yeah, with that shake already coming out, not sure that Eddie and Palom are going to get an opportunity to do much. And as I say that, Big Bang comes out again.
Yeah, and Black Hole coming out. Rosa hopefully goes and gets a turn to throw a Cure 4 quickly. Edge throwing his last attack before going and yeah, those Cure 4 are going to go and heal up the team. Going to go and just get straight back to zerking. And we have a nuke coming out that takes out Rosa.
Oh no.
And Harump goes...
Ah, it's a reset.
This fight is just barely not going Harump's way. It is really hard to go, and this fight is unfortunately really rough for Harump because he only has 2 characters that can survive Big Bangs, and then when the nuke comes out, you're gonna go and be getting hit with that, so it's a very rough position to be in.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's the... Well, I was going to say it's the logic behind reviving them, but you can't revive them in time to be a nuke target. So you're pretty much guaranteed to lose a critical character here.
Edge might be able to survive, but I agree, you're almost guaranteed to lose them. What may be something you can do is, after Edward goes down the first time, revive him, but hide him and keep a Star Bell on him and have him pop out after the Big Bang, or after the Black Hole, so that he can be an extra target who might be able to go and soak a nuke and send it back to Threemus.
Oh, now that is using your head. I would not think of that one.
That is the basis of Edward's strat, so I can't go and take a lot of claim for having that idea.
Very true, but when you're not using Eddie's strats in the first place, I tend to not think of the hide command, you know?
Very fair. It is a surprisingly helpful command, to be entirely honest.
Looks like this fight is going okay over on Euphoric Lemon's side. I haven't been paying super close attention the entire time, but He's been in there a while and is throwing out a lot of big spells here.
Is getting a lot of, yeah, just doing classic reflex strats. Oh, has Kane, so looks like they're doing hybrid strats.
Yeah, looks like Kane has a an ice spear, blizzard spear, and is doing okay damage, about 2,500.
That looks like a white spear, actually. I have no idea where Euphoric Lemon pulled that out from, because I imagine our runners would have been would love to see one of those.
Yeah, I completely missed the white spear pickup, but that's really nice to have.
And Euphoric Lemon is just laying on the damage.
For sure, can't be too much left in the Threemus here.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go and get the refill skip, but they're going to go and just beat down Threemus in an exact opposite fight. Going and darting the Drain Spears, just throwing out damage left, right, and center, just absolutely destroying Threemus. Meanwhile, Harumph is back in their fight, is going, looks like they're getting ready to go and take the first big bang, going and reflecting a white off bottom palum. Getting ready, Tella is probably going to be going down.
And Arn Castro getting into his Z fight himself, so we're going to have 3 simultaneous Z fights on the restream here.
That is going to be an exciting time for us. And, Frisco sounding a little ungrateful. I would like to go and thank our restreamer, Jofis Madho tonight, and our trackers, Loremaster Motos and Golden Hades. Without them, we wouldn't be able to put on a show, as Euphoric Lemon looks to be in position to closing things off, as they have rocks, but they have all of their members up, and is going to be just keeping on throwing out damage left, right, and center.
Yep, reflecting that white. We'll see if it's the finishing blow. There it is. There's the flash. Euphoric Lemon is the first to finish on stream. Of course, we've already had a first place finisher, but GG's to Euphoric Lemon.
Yes, Euphoric Lemon finishing with an official time of 1 hour, 8 minutes, 3 seconds. They will be finishing in 12th place in this race. GG's to them. Let's see if we can get them in for an interview. Meanwhile, we see Harumph is still going pushing forward, and Arn Castro is going and getting the start of their fight. And we are joined. Hold on one second. Pardon me, just organizing things.
Okay, looks like Arn Castro's Rosa is throwing out a Berserk onto that edge. Arn Castro's fight looks to be in pretty good shape with all these Berserkers here.
Meanwhile, we are joined by Euphoric Lemon. GG's. How'd you feel about that seed when it started?
Oh, horrible. That is the antithesis to everything that I enjoy about a seed. Seeing that darkness crystal is just the cherry on top, yeah.
Yeah, how far did your stomach drop out of you when you got that starting darkness crystal?
I was immediately hoping for no Tella and something to drag the seed out as long as possible. Maybe no sirens or something, or maybe have them in a difficult to reach location like Eblin, like locked behind the hook. Something that would force people to be dragged out, but no such luck.
Yeah, that Tella hiding on the moon was, no one really checked that for some time.
Yeah, when I saw that at the very end, I knew why other people finished far ahead of me. Like, oh shoot, that's D money grind right there.
Yeah, that is something that Tella unfortunately does go and significantly speed up grind options with a lot fewer restrictions. That said, you did go and put on a good show. You were the first of the restream runners on Free Enterprise to go and finish.
Oh wow, I was. That's awesome. I took the gamble with Edge going for the sirens. I know I didn't have the money to buy sirens, so I figured I'd just go that route, and it paid off, I guess.
Yeah, I thought you did very well. You had a really impressive Z fight. Just able to throw out so much damage with that party.
Yeah, the second I saw the second Rosa show up, that was my game plan. I was just gonna grind it right up to white and nuke levels and just go for reflex strats. And finding the Mirasame and the white spear in that random Fabul castle check.
Oh, that's
also made me smile. Yeah.
We were wondering where that white spear came from. Both of us totally missed it.
Yeah, I saw that I didn't have enough stuff to sell to buy some extra sirens, and I saw that Kane and Edge were still pretty weak, so why not go and try out Fabul Castle? And sure enough, gave me 2 really good items.
Yeah, those open castle traps just did seem to slow you down slightly when Edge got flustered, but
yeah, that didn't go so well, but it worked out.
Well, this unfortunately is the end of your advancement in the Fabul Gauntlet. How do you feel about your run in general?
It was good. I had a lot of fun with it. It was a great tournament. Really good runners, great players, really well organized. Staff was great. Restream team, commentators, everybody. It was well put together, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the next one.
Well, I'm glad that you've enjoyed it. Captain, do you have any final questions for Q4 Lemon?
I don't think so. Just really glad you could participate in the tournament, and glad it was a really positive experience for you. And, thought you did really, really well in this race.
Thank you.
Yes, good luck going forward, and looking forward to see you in our next tournament.
You as well, guys, and ladies. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too.
Thank you, you too. And in the meantime, we had our second restream runner, Harumph, finally goes and has Threemus stop beating them up, unfortunately, and finishes in 14th place with an official time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 7 seconds. Let's see if we can get them in for an interview.
Looks like Harumph is with us now. GG's, Harumph.
Thank you. Yes, beat up indeed.
Yeah, that was a couple of attempts on that Z fight. How are you feeling there throughout that seed and in that fight?
I saw the objectives. It was like, all right, this is the potential to be a fast seed. And then I see the darkness crystals as for a start. I'm going, oh crap.
Like, I may or may not have been a little excited for that, just because I want to see someone else do with these seeds. So, how did you, when you saw that darkness start, what was your plan?
Originally, I was thinking, all right, let's get the objectives done, find a grind, whether that be Deep Machine or Siren Grind, once I got the edge, and then do the Crystal Sword Altar, and then go and in theory eat the Threemus. I was wishy-washy as throughout here whether I was trying to go with a mage strat or Zerker strat. The way the characters kind of felt, because I didn't check for the Tela at the boot here. End up thinking, all right, we're settling with Zerker strats. Let's see if we can find some sirens. We found some sirens. Let's sell a bunch of money for sirens. Now to think about, all right, how are we going to kill these eggs? Found a assassin dagger, which helped a lot. Try to speed that up, and then I knew I was going to be trying to thread a fine needle for that Threemus fight here, and it didn't work out. When you spend a third of your of the seed time here in the Z fight here, that's it's a little rough.
Your Z fight, Z really liked going and targeting Rosa with nukes in that final phase. It seemed was it 3 attempts in a row that between Edge and Rosa, it targeted Rosa and took her down?
Yeah, it was something like that here. Fortunately, in the last fight here, the Big Bang here was kind to both, and I was able to get the Cure 4 up here, and then Rocks came here, and that was going to be fine with that here. And then I don't know if I would have had time to get the dart off in time here in the second attempt there, because I kind of mismenued trying to get to dart. To try to dart the Excalibur and hopefully take Z out that one shot. I'm not sure if that would have done it at that point, but yeah, there's a few fine things here and there here when you're trying to push.
Yeah, those jet seeds are really, really tough in terms of just optimizing every last thing you do. And in a race like this, you're pretty punished for any small thing you didn't do exactly right. So definitely nothing to be ashamed of. I thought your grind in particular was really, really impressive. All of those swoons on the assassin dagger, it looked like you had lined something up with the agility there that lets you get those really consistently.
Yeah, I just want to get edge as the first action. It nearly went sideways on one of them here when I actually had one back attack here, and it didn't swoon up, and I just couldn't get enough damage to take out the dragon right away here. So yeah, ended up with 2 people left after that. One is all right, let's revive everyone, let's get some HP back up here, and then let's continue the grind. Yeah, I thought the grind part went well here. Could I have gotten a few more levels? I suppose I could have here. I just ran out of sirens and I didn't feel like buying any more.
Yeah, and that's one where you definitely don't want to, be going back and forth too much to get sirens if you can just go for it and potentially make the fight.
Yeah, that point I had already gone back and forth a few times as is here in both Tomra and the Dwarf Castle. So it's like, yeah, I need to stop now here. All right, let's take what we can get here and try to get the objectives down. Was kind of happy with when I got into the Z fight. It was just the execution of the Z fight that didn't work out.
I mean, you had a lot of bad luck on your Z fight. I think your first attempt, you had Rosa get just barely high rolled and taken out. Then you had nukes constantly targeting Rosa. That it was definitely a narrow fight, but it was not an unwinnable fight. As you showed, it was a winnable fight, but some things just had to go your way more than they did.
And we'll call it the board AI here. I'll have a talk with him.
Entirely fair. Well, with this, you are unfortunately no longer advancing in Highway to the Threemus Zone. How are you feeling about the tournament in general?
Not this being my first tournament here, I did, a little better than I expected here. Going into it, I think realistically, I was like, all right, I'll give myself a chance at getting into, like, I guess the big, hairy, audacious goal for me here would be to try to get Magma here, and I was close to that here. Had 2 races here to try to get into Magma, to the Magma route here. Those didn't quite work out, so I figured Hook here, have a good chance to make at least the play-in, which I did. And I gave myself a fighting shot at the play-in, I thought here. The fight goes a little bit differently here. I tweaked some of the routing I had early on here, and I'm potentially close to, much closer here to a first place time here than the middle of the pack.
Yeah, you were definitely knocking on the door. You were the first of the restreamed racers on the Free Enterprise channel to even get into the Z fight. So, yeah, I mean, really impressive showing, especially for your first tournament. So, yeah, I think you have a lot to be proud of there.
And I definitely want to give a shout out here to everyone on the everyone who's been restreaming, commentating, tracking, the admin team for Threemus Zone here, organizing a great tournament here, and I look forward here to watching the rest of the races. Try to pick up a few additional tips and tricks here and there, and I guess it'd also be nice here to be able to do table seeds for fun, as opposed to in the heat of battle.
Table seeds are exciting. They are definitely very different from our group flags, and I'd encourage everyone to go and give them a try. They're definitely a very fun, if unique, challenge.
I've done, I think, a grand total of 2 at this point here, and I've done the completely blind. Haven't watched anyone race and all that here. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. And ironically, I'll probably end up doing better, doing better here in my recreational table seed runs here than I probably did for my group runs in a tournament here. But all in all, for the most part, I'm happy with the exception of a race or 2 here and there. I'm happy here with, overall happy with the performance here, and I hope to do this again with the next tournament and hopefully put up a better showing that time.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. Captain, do you have any final questions for Harumph?
I don't think so. Just want to thank Harumph for participating in the tournament, and really glad that you had a good time. And we're really looking forward to seeing you in the next one.
Thank you, and congratulations to Daphnis as well. And good luck to everyone in the table group.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Have a good night.
And with that, we had our final finisher on the restream, Arn Castro, finishing in 16th place with an official time of 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 6 seconds. We'll see if we can get him in here for an interview and just get their final thoughts on this race.
Hey, thank you. Ooh, that was a lot of fun. It was a different seed for sure.
That it was. How were you feeling when you went and saw that start with the objectives and the darkness crystal in your hand to start the seed?
100% honest, my first thought was I lost. because I was really hoping for a more rough and tumble, grinded out seed. I tend to, and this is something I need to work on, I tend to think I overthink jet seeds and get stuck in ruts, which is exactly what I did, and so I called that from the start on myself. But this type of seed gives me the opportunity, just to push myself to the limits. And I think if I had routed it a little bit differently, the outcome may have been a little different. But it was still a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and I tried to keep that fun going through the entire tournament and this race as well.
I mean, jet seeds are a very, very hard thing to raise. It is something that I may or may not have yelled out in glee and said, yes, I get to go and see someone else suffer through these, because they're hard. They really go and force you to do, again, as you said, in a lot of the long grind out seeds, you get to go and do a lot, and you get to go and see a lot. These types of seeds really do force you to cut as much as you can, and it is a very hard thing to do. So I don't blame you for having this fondness for them. But overall, how did you feel when you saw that Tella on the moon?
Yeah, so when I saw Edge was the first time I was like, well, this has been blown up. Like, I could have had an Edge really early and gone through and not suffered the Magus Sisters and oh my gosh, Pale Dim. Thank you, Brain. And Pale Dim as long as I did. And then, when I went and saw Tella, I was both, it was like a mixed emotions, because like, well, okay, I didn't know what I was going to do to grind, and I really just went up there and I was like, well, if this is Tella, hallelujah. If it's not, I'm in trouble. And it was Tella, so I was like, all right, well, I have my boy. We can go, we can grind, just got to go scale mount ordeals, get faked out with the spoon, and, go and finish off the seed. So even though I should have, hindsight's 2020, I thought about when I raised the whale to go right up and to look, and in my mind I thought, no, because it's just a long cutscene to go there, and then it may not be worth it. So let's just stay on the blue planet. And well, it bit me, but that's okay. That's they say rando's gonna rando. So it's just how it rolled this time.
Yeah, I think you definitely played it in a totally reasonable way. Yeah, I can't blame you for any of the decisions you made. Thought you did a really good job. Good job getting into that D machine fight. It looked like it was pretty smooth on that end.
Yeah, thank you. I had second guessed myself a little bit because I was like, oh, was that step count 43 or 44? No, oh no, I can't remember. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever, I'm just gonna go. 'Cause there's no reason to go and redo it if I had to do it again. So D Machine went okay. I think I could have. That's something I've been trying to work on, and I had for most of it the exact order that I wanted it to be in, and then it kind of got a little shaky in the middle part. But I'm very thankful for Tella. That's why he's my boy, and he's my favorite character in these flags, or no, in Free Enterprise. So because he allows you to do so much with honestly such little HP and MP growth. So he's great. I love him.
That is some wisdom right there.
Yeah, and this does unfortunately end your advancement in Highway to the Threemus Zone. What are your feelings on the tournament overall?
Yeah, the tournament has been great. I really have enjoyed it. Honestly, I mean, to be completely honest, the beginning was a little bit of a jolt for me because I went, Team Carbuncle, the sleeper team, where I got wrecked, and went 0-3 and got, I faced three incredible racers, and they pushed me to try to get better, and went on through the hook route and faced three more incredible racers, and it gives you the opportunity to, one, really test yourself on a bunch of different seeds, and two, get to know the community a little bit better, because otherwise, I mean, really, I only pop head out for these Threemus Zone or the Zenith Zones, the Highway to the Zenith Zones tournaments, and I thought about last year being a little bit more active in the when there's not big tournaments, going to weeklies and things like that. And again, the fire has been lit, and maybe I'll do that, or try something else. But I've really enjoyed it. Everyone putting this together, including you guys on the Restream team, have been amazing, keeping everything smooth and organized. So I really appreciate that from everybody. So thank y'all for doing what you do, because I know it's not easy to take the time to put so much effort into such a big tournament like this.
Oh, it's certainly worth it. I'm glad you've been enjoying it.
Absolutely. We're just glad to have people able to participate and happy to race.
Agreed. It is definitely a great and fun thing, and thank you for coming out and joining it. We wouldn't be able to have tournaments without people who want to participate in them, so thank you for joining.
Oh yeah, no problem. I hope I put on a good show. I honestly didn't know I was being restreamed until I think after the Magus Sisters, and I went, oh no, they just saw the greatest part of my run. So oops, but it is what it is.
No, you did a great job. Thank you so much for agreeing to that.
Yes, thank you again. Well, Captain, do you have any final questions?
I don't think so.
Well then, Arden Castro, thank you very much for joining us, and I wish you a great evening, and I hope you enjoy all the more of the Free Enterprise in the future.
Oh, definitely. Thank you all again, and I appreciate it. And GG's to all the racers, and to everyone who's moving on. Good luck to y'all. I'll be watching excitedly in the stands.
Thank you.
Sounds good. GG's, Castro.
GG's, Castro. And that is the end of our race tonight. This is the end of the Hook play-ins, but we have the Magma 2 play-ins tomorrow night. It will again be a triple feature on Free Enterprise, RPG Limit Break, and the Randomania Network. I will go and it's going to be the same time, 8 p.m. So if you liked the race we had tonight, we have another fantastic race tomorrow with the same channels as well. So if you like these races, stay here, come back tomorrow, and we'll have another race for you.
Yep, be sure to tune in. It's going to be a really good show. And thank you so much to Jeff Ismano, our restreamer, Golden Hades, and Lord Master Motas, our trackers, and of course to Baka Shinobi, my fine co-commentator.
And thank you, Girl Named Captain, for joining me. This has been a great privilege for me to go and commentate with you tonight.
I had a lot of fun, Baka.
Well, we are going to be sending you off to Direwolf 831 or 813 They are doing their own practice, so go give them your love, tell them hello. Please do not spoil the results of the race in the event that they want to go and see it for themselves. Thank you all and have a great evening.
Bye, everyone. Whew. That was an intense one.